To begin with her presentation, Sign, Smile, Repeat, Creating an ASL Booklet for Children, we have Marcela Marquez.
When I was 10 years old and in the 5th grade, one day, Kara's and Farah's grandma, Miss Sonia, came and picked us up from school with the intent to just drop me off at home. However, the three of us were super hungry after a long day of 5th and 8th grade. So we decided to stop at a restaurant called Crepe Crazy. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure many of you do, but Crepe Crazy is a restaurant and food truck located in Austin and Dripping Springs. And it is entirely deaf-owned and operated. It specializes in giving opportunities to people in the deaf community and creates a really unique and inclusive environment. As I walked into the restaurant, the first thing I noticed was how quiet it was, but that was mostly because there was nobody in the restaurant. But as I walked up to the counter, I also became immediately enthralled by how the coworkers were communicating with each other. Throughout my short time in the restaurant, I often found myself much more in tune with what was going on around me. Less focused on what I was hearing, but actively tuning in to my eyesight as a form of observation and figuring out what was going on around me. This was my first experience interacting with somebody who didn't communicate in the same way I did. However, fast forward to high school, I had a lot more of these interactions, as being a part of the volleyball and basketball teams meant that we were at the Texas School for the Deaf, or TSD, a lot over the past 4 years. However, it wasn't until my sophomore year that I started to actually learn some of the language myself. That year, we were offered an elective in ASL, so a lot of my classmates and I had a lot of fun learning some basic and conversational signs. So much so that by the end of the course, we were actually able to have very short and very simple conversations with each other. Unfortunately, though, after the course was over, I did not continue with ASL, and I lost a lot of what I had learned. However, I never forgot how much I loved learning ASL. And there was always this thought lingering in the back of my mind of how awesome it would be if more hearing people learned the language to create a more welcoming and inclusive world. That was the basis for my project. I wanted to create some sort of product that was interactive, colorful, and inclusive for parents to use when they were teaching their kids ASL, whether they are deaf or not. After some deliberating on how I would be able to use the very little sign language that I knew to create something that I could present to y'all, I decided on creating a booklet for kids to learn their very first signs in. My first step of this project was to find a mentor. So after sending out an email to the community, an absurd amount of people reached back out and told me that I should talk to Leah Ulbrich, who is happy enough to be here tonight, which I appreciate. Leah is not only a Waldorf alum and current AWS mom, but she also dedicated her career to working in the deaf community. Not only is she employed by TSD for over 2 decades, but she also currently teaches family signs with deaf and hard of hearing families. With families with deaf and hard of hearing children at TSD. During our meeting, I learned a lot. I had originally thought that my book would be for children in the ages of about 3 to 6, but Leah told me something super interesting. She said that most hearing impaired or deaf children actually develop faster when it comes to communication. They don't have all the auditory clues like the radio or hearing your parents' everyday conversation all around you to be able to pick up on language faster. Their first form of communication has to be taught. Therefore, they learn it a lot faster. So a book that's for hearing children that's in the ages of 3 to 6 is actually more in the newborn to 0 age range. During this time, we also created the list of words and phrases that I would be using in my booklet, as well as just some simple goals. My goals going into this project, Hello. My goals going into this project were relatively simple. I wanted to create a booklet that was fun to look at and easy to follow along with. as well as have a dedicated part of this book for little notes and memories. This idea came from my mom, as she has tons of little notebooks and booklets all around the house from when me and my sister were super little, and she would write in little goals or little achievements and like just cute little things that we did that day that she thought were special. And I thought that's super cute and something that I look back on now and I love, so I wanted to give parents that ability when they're teaching their children using my booklet. So Leah and I also decided that 10 to 12 signs would probably be the most doable, as I really wanted to incorporate 3 aspects into every single page. I wanted to incorporate not just the hand motion of how to do each sign, but also the finger spelling, that way the kids can start to learn some of their alphabet, as well as written instructions to go along with the signs, just to make it easier. But once I had my idea ready, it was time to start actually creating my booklet. This is probably where I took the most time and where I hit my first roadblock, because I had originally decided that I was going to use digital art to create every single image in the book. But I quickly learned we do not have a single touch screen in our house, except for our phone. And a lot of digital media is most effective on like an iPad or a tablet, and we don't have any of those. Trust me, I scoured our home. So after a lot of time and trial and error, trying to use my computer and more hours than I'd like to admit, trying to make it work, I realized that I was really fighting a losing battle. So I decided to pivot my design and hand draw all of my signs before uploading them into my computer. So these images, which might be hard to see, but I'll get into them, are my very first sketches of each page. So the one on the far left is just water, the one in the middle is dad, and the one on the right is hug. You'll see all of these finished products later in my slideshow. But the basis for these mock-ups was just to get kind of a sense for the spacing and the feel that I wanted. And one of the common themes you can see is that each sign has 2 figures on it, and it has arrows as well. So that was really just to make it easier for people to see the movement and what was required to actually make the sign on like a 3D level when you're doing it in person. But once I decided on drawing the pictures myself, the actual process was a lot more straightforward. But I still really wanted my signs or my pages to be colorful. So I started by watercoloring each page. Luckily, we are a Waldorf family, so I had a lot of these products already at my house. I used just regular 9 by 12 inch watercolor paper and Nick Pro watercolor paint. I used yellow as my base, and then I added in different shades of pink, orange, red, and blue to create kind of like a flowy and organic feel, like you can see in the top right picture. I also used a wet on wet watercolor technique, which is what we use here, and it basically means you just soak the piece of paper in water for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then each little glob of paint is also mixed in with water, so it makes it a lot easier to have that like flowy kind of vibe to it when you're done. Then the fun part began. I started by sketching each individual sign. So again, this might be hard to see because it's in pencil, but I'll go through it. Let me see. This right here is all done, and so it's one of my, it's actually the last sign in my book. And one thing I noticed, this is when I started putting in the finger spelling as well. And one thing when it comes to finger spelling, it's kind of in the same, you use it kind of in the same way as when a kid is like sounding out a word on the page. Instead of being like A-L-L-D-O-N-E, you're saying more like, you encourage them to be more like all, for like all done. So yeah, that's how you would finger spell that. And then on the bottom, it's just actually how you do the sign. So all done is really easy. Y'all are free to like join me if you want with any of the signs that I tell you about. I have more. But all done is super easy. You just put up your hands and with your palm facing outwards, and then you just flip it to the inside. That's cute. Okay, that's all done. It's so much different when there's so many people here. Okay. When I was finally really able to pull everything together by just using my regular colored pencils and coloring each sign in. So as you can see, the top left is all done when it's all done. And the bottom right is food, which is also super simple. You just make your hand into like a little circle, and then you tap your mouth at your chin, which is like pretty easy to remember because you want food. The middle one is mom. It's one of my favorites, and you just have your hand fully open like that, and tap your chin for mom. Hug is so cute. You like make a fist, and with both hands, cross them, and then give yourself a little hug. And then lastly, water, which I think is like one of the most well-known ones because I used to use it when I was little. But you just make a W, and with the side of it, you tap your chin as well for water. But yeah. After the drawings were all done, I scanned each picture onto its own page and uploaded it to my computer before putting it into Canva. Canva allowed me to create the other half of each spread, which was the written portion. This is where I wrote clear and concise instructions on how to do each sign to go along with the images. And this is also where I incorporated the notes and the lines so that people can write in whatever little memories they may make. Unfortunately, there was one aspect of my project that I didn't end up working out. While I intended for this booklet to be published so that it would be more widely accessible, because of the sizing of the book, I made it a lot smaller because I really wanted the pictures to incorporate the entire, or to fill up the entire page. And because of its size, it makes it really hard for websites to like publish it in a pretty way. Like it looks really ugly on there right now. But I'm definitely still working with Amazon KDP and Lulu to try and make that possible, because one of the goals really was to make this as widely and easily accessible as possible. Overall, though, I had a lot of fun designing and making this booklet. I definitely learned a lot about myself, and even though I probably won't do something like this again, I definitely am still learning ASL, as it's a language that I'm really passionate about. This is the cover page of the book, and while it doesn't have a lot of stuff going on, I think the inside really makes up for it with how much drawings and color there is going on. This next slide is just a couple of my favorite ones. Like I said, mom up there. And this is basically what you'll see when you open the book. So it's the images on one side and then the directions and the notes on the other. Milk, that's what's on the bottom, and it's really simple. It's just like you're milking a cow with your hands. But yeah, before I take any questions, I really want to say a couple of thank yous. First of all, to my mentor, Leah, thank you so much. I could not have done this project without you. She gave me so many amazing insights and directions during our meeting, and she really set me up for success. So thank you so much, Leah. Yes. I'm not done yet. Sorry. Of course, I want to thank my parents, especially my mom. While I had a lot of fun doing this project, it definitely was stressful, and she was always there for me to bounce ideas off of and to just let me rant about how stressed I am. So thank you, Mom. Of course, Miss Amy, thank you I don't know where she is, but thank you so much for helping me with my presentation. Truly, it is so much better than it ever could have been without you. Of course, to Mr. Phillips for giving me some amazing notes, and for just like doing this entire process. There's 34 of us, so I'm sure that's not easy to schedule, so appreciate you. And of course, to all of you guys for being an audience, thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all being here. I can take any questions now. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, yes. The hardest thing that I did was honestly trying to make all of the pictures look the same. I wanted them to have like the same vibe to them, and when I was hand drawing it, it was like kind of hard to do. Yeah. Yes. Huh? Oh my God! Thank you so much to your mom. I love that. I didn't know if the 4th grade would be here. That's so cute. Yes. I'm honestly not sure with all of the, oh, sorry. How long did this take me? This took me probably around like 20 to 30 hours with all of the like drawings and stuff like that I had to do because it was all by hand, so yeah. Yes, Ms. Amy.
Well, thank you for this beautiful offering. And hands are not easy to draw.
Yeah.
So that's incredible that you did all of that.
Thank you.
Was there anything that you experienced in the journey that didn't make its way into the presentation you'd like to share?
Yeah, one of the coolest things I learned about sign language actually works really well with what my Spanish teacher, Profe Prince, always says. She says Spanish is not English with Spanish translations, and that's really the same thing for sign language. It's not English with just like hand translations. It's a whole different grammar style with its own syntax and just a different way of expressing yourself. So that was probably the coolest thing I learned. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think I would focus on just making all of the, like my pencil marks more even. That way they would come up when I like uploaded them to my computer more like vibrant. They're more vibrant on the page than they are on the slides, but yeah, that's probably something I would want to change. Yeah, Zoe? No, oh my gosh, is sign language the same across the world? No, it is not. ASL is just American Sign Language, so there's British Sign Language and like over like 300 different dialects. So it's really just like any other language. Yes? Do I know any of the other sign languages? No, I don't. I would love to learn some of those, but I think I would need to learn just American Sign Language as a whole first. Yes? Do I try to communicate with someone? I actually have not like run into like a hearing impaired person like in the wild, but like just like in the world. But I would definitely, if I got like, sorry, if I got like a little bit more confident in my sign language, I would definitely try and do that. Yeah. Yes. I'm so sorry. What? Right now, where can I get my book? Oh, y'all can get my book. Right now, it would have to go through me just because it's not like published in an easy format, but it's like pretty simple for me to do it. So if anybody wants to talk to me about it, you can. Yes.
I'm just wondering about the book. Will we see?
Oh, yes, and it'll be outside for y'all to see if you'd like. Yeah. Yes, that's my goal. I really want to be fluent in it. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Thank you.